Hi, friends, and welcome to Big Pants Underground. Still fighting off this RSV virus, so my voice is going to sound a little crappy. Today, we're talking about Black Panther, of course, Wakanda Forever. The box office projections significantly decline in lead up to film's release. I have heard from, and there's going to be spoilers in this video. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, I would suggest that you stop watching. I really don't want you to stop watching because I need the views. But if you don't want to hear spoilers, if you don't care, just keep on watching. And really, as far as what I hear about this movie and how, if it's any good, you really shouldn't care. Some of the critics that I have listened to, Chris Gore specifically, Chris Gore from the original G4 Attack of the Show has seen the movie and said that it is just horrible. It's all over the place. It's one of the worst Marvel movies that he's ever seen. So, this is not going to be a surprise that the projections are declining, and they're going to decline even more once people have seen it and they go out and tell their friends and family how bad this movie is. Of course, the movie gets released tomorrow. Today's the 10th. Tomorrow is the 11th. It will be released tomorrow. Box office tracking website Box Office Pro originally predicted on October 14th the film would earn in its opening weekend anywhere between 180 million and 225 million. They also predicted it would gross a total anywhere between 445 million and 590 million for its entire domestic run in theaters. And that, of course, is just in the United States. That doesn't include international box office. And because this is mostly a black cast, I'm not really sure how it's going to do in China and other countries that tend to censor black movies. However, those projections have significantly declined in Box Office Pro's most recent projections for the film as we get closer to the film's release. On November 4th, they predicted the film will earn anywhere between 170 million and 205 million in its opening weekend. And they've lowered the projected domestic gross to 435 million and 543 million. So things are starting to decline for this. It's definitely not going to make as much as the first Black Panther. They have already spoiled the fact that Shuri will be the Black Panther. She becomes Black Panther. They wait until the third act of the movie to make her Black Panther. And even though all of the heart-shaped herbs were destroyed in the first movie, of course, they figure out some way to synthesize the herb and give her the strength of the Black Panther. Of course they do. Of course they do, because she couldn't be Black Panther without it. I guess they could build her an Iron Man suit, but they don't do that. They build an Iron Heart suit for Riri Williams. We've already talked about that, and just the cringiness of the CGI and the look of the Ironheart Mark II armor, complete with cornrows. So they make Shuri the Black Panther, and also Chadwick Boseman's, or T'Challa, not Chadwick Boseman, obviously, because he's dead. They don't show him, but T'Challa is still alive at the beginning of the movie. But he's suffering from some unspecified, uncurable virus that has completely sapped all of his energy and strength, and he's basically on his deathbed. And then at some point during the beginning of the movie, he just dies off screen. just completely off screen. We never actually see him. All we're told that he's sick, and then suddenly we're told that he's dead. I don't know whose idea this was. I don't know why they think it's a good idea. Of course, I don't understand why they didn't recast the character. We've talked about this. They recast Thunderbolt Ross. They didn't have a problem recasting William Hurt with Harrison Ford. And they didn't have a problem recasting Rhodey. And Rhodey, the original actor that played Rhodey, his name escapes me right now, didn't die. He was kind of a dick, and he wanted too much money. They didn't want to recast him. So they called Don Cheadle, and Don Cheadle was happy to take the role. They recast Dumbledore in Harry Potter, because the original Dumbledore that was in the first two movies, he passed away. So they recast him. And they didn't say a word. They didn't even hint to the fact that it was a different person playing the character. They just went on with the movie. So I don't see any reason why they couldn't have recast T'Challa. I don't know how much money this movie is going to need to make to break even. I'm pretty sure they've put a lot of money into marketing, and they've you can't, even if a movie costs $200 million to make and it makes $201 million, it still hasn't made money, because you have to take into consideration the marketing, and you have to take into consideration the fact that movie theaters have to take their cut. So I'm not 100% sure how much this has to make in order to break even. But they're projecting that it's going to make less now than Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which was not received well. By the audience. It's sitting at 84% certified fresh now on Rotten Tomatoes. Of course, there's no audience scores. But there are rotten reviews, which is something that you wouldn't expect to see for this movie. A lot of these reviewers are they're going to abandon Disney, because it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth it to be tied to Disney. Despite all the often empty bombast and bluster, it is in the moments of silence where the film still manages to strike a chord that serves as an emotional echo of what could have been. And it gives it a 2 out of 4. These are all aggregate scores, so Wakanda Forever is ultimately a weary drag, as if the James Bond franchise has gone straight from Dr. No to Moonraker in one leap, but with fewer jokes. 2 out of 5. The movie is juggling way too much for anything but the most significant details to have much weight. 2.5 out of 4. Despite the best efforts of a dedicated cast and an inarguably talented writer-director, Wakanda Forever lands as an at times sluggish, unfocused struggle with the demands of both manifest destiny and grief, in both cases literally and figuratively. So there are bad reviews coming out. This was sitting at this had dropped all the way into the 70s. It was at a 92 a couple days ago. It had dropped into the 70s, and now it's back up to an 84. And like I said, there are rotten reviews, and there's only 184 reviews total right now. So I have a feeling, because You just can't trust Rotten Tomatoes, especially the critic scores and sometimes even the audience scores. I have a feeling that they're probably going to be locking this score in now that it's become certified fresh. They're going to lock the score in, and we're going to see it just sit where it sits, where it's at, probably for the remainder of its run and probably forever. So that's where we're at. The movie opens tonight, the big premiere at midnight tonight. I won't be seeing it. I'm not going to waste my money, waste my time going to the theater to see this. I will wait for it to come out on streaming before I see it, especially because of the things that I've heard about it and how terrible it is and how they basically treat T'Challa like he's just nothing, like he was. They have a funeral. I mean, I guess they have a big funeral for him. But other than that, they should have recast him. They should have recast that character. I can't stress that enough. So we'll see what happens tomorrow and see if this audience score starts filling back up and or starts filling up, period. And we'll see what the audience thinks about it. And then we'll go from there. If you like the if you like the video, please smash the like button and share this video to all your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, and I will see you next time.